and of course the occasional lightning strike as well as all this continues to move through. Now all of this will kind of hang about and be meander for the next few hours, but should start to dry things up a little bit late this evening and overnight tonight, and then we'll just do it all over again tomorrow before a drier day on Sunday and a lot of 70s in that 70 forecast. We'll talk all about it, of course, coming up here on The Nights.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Cody. We are learning tonight that one of the women shot Monday at that encampment on Lake Street in Minneapolis has died. She's been identified as Jacinda Oak Grove.
Police say those shots were fired late Monday night and 7 people were initially injured. Police say Oak Grove died at the hospital last night, and that encampment is also at the center of a lawsuit by the city against the owner of the property on which it sits. The city swept the camp Tuesday after processing the scene. New at 5, real estate in Kenya, a new luxury apartment and also luxury cars. Those are just some of the things prosecutors say fraud suspects spent stolen tax money on.
Federal prosecutors charged those people in a massive fraud scheme tied to a program designed to help seniors and those with addiction issues find a place to live. Fox 9's Mike Manzoni took a deeper look at who the suspects are and what prosecutors say they did with the cash. And Mike, investigators say some of them went on a pretty big shopping spree.
Hey, Karen and Simone, prosecutors say some of them got an American Express Platinum card and then racked up nearly $500,000 in purchases. Let's first show you the names of the 8 people facing charges. Here they are. They range in age from 26 to 62. 2 of them are brothers. Brilliant Mind Services, Leo Human Services, Liberty Plus, and Fallid Care were the 4 companies mentioned in the first round of indictments. Prosecutors say the suspects from Brilliant Minds pocketed as much as $400,000 apiece and shared a credit card to run up charges for all kinds of things. Investigators say the owner of Leo Human Services invested in real estate in Kenya, leased an apartment in Roseville, and even treated himself to a new BMW. And prosecutors say the owner of Liberty Plus leased a Mercedes and made other investments using the stolen tax dollars. In all, prosecutors say the people charged yesterday stole more than $8 million, but they expect to charge even more people. In the newsroom, Mike Manzoni, Fox 9.
All right, Mike, thank you. A quick question, though, before you go. The state paid more than $300 million in claims over the last 5 years. How much of that tax money was stolen?
Well, at this point, Karen, that's still unclear. The feds haven't put a dollar figure on that, but each year the program paid claims tens of millions of dollars higher than anticipated, and federal prosecutors say most of those claims were bogus. Karen?
All right, thank you, Mike.
A man from Moore, Minnesota is now accused of making violent and terroristic threats in connection to the killing of Charlie Kirk.
Prosecutors say 64-year-old John Sandine sent at least 10 threats via email to a Maple Grove man and the church that he played music at. That man says he and Sandine have never met. According to the charges, Sandine described the late Charlie Kirk as his friend, accused the victim of killing Kirk, and then threatened retribution. One of Sandine's alleged messages reads, "It's fair game to let the hunted know that they are hunted. You are now advised." Prosecutors describe another message that read, "Play the songs, the music speaks volumes. We don't need opinions." Yeah, he's going to be with Charlie Kirk. Shut down the politics. I'm not kidding. Now the messages get more violent from there, threatening the victim with mutilation and telling them to hide. One of the last messages reads, "Go ahead and call your feds and cops. I will get out and then I will find you." Again, Sandine faces 4 counts of threats of violence. He could face as much as 20 years of prison time.
Hennepin County law enforcement leaders are calling out the new Mary Moriarty policy that eliminates almost all charges related to minor traffic stops. The county attorney announced the new policy 2 days ago, but did not consult with police chiefs beforehand.
Fox 9's Corin Hogger joins us now in studio after hearing from the chiefs today and digging into the data from Ramsey County, where they had something similar going on in 2021. So they've been at it a few years over there.
Yeah, they have done it for a while. I will say that the Hennepin County law enforcement leaders, including Sheriff DeWanna Witt, says that this basically takes a tool out of their toolbox. Sheriff Witt said, you know, there is some racial bias in police stops over the years. She said she has personally experienced it, but she says it's rare. The best way for them to handle it is to just let the police chiefs do their job. And, you know, this is a tool they say is an effective tool. She mentioned that they've made a lot of stops this year, but they have 175 weapons that they seized during traffic stops. She highlighted one stop in particular that she said was very effective.
Traffic stop for illegal window tint in Minneapolis. The two occupants were wearing ski masks and gloves. A 9mm handgun that was modified to be fully automatic was found during that traffic stop. Through our investigation, we learned the firearm was connected to a shooting in Minneapolis and a homicide in Robbinsdale.
I should mention that I followed up with Robbinsdale police about that incident there. They've had one homicide all year. It was in May at Sanborn Park. Nobody's been arrested. Nobody's been charged.
All right, so we mentioned that Ramsey County has had this in place for, I guess, what 4 years now.
Right.
What does the data show in terms of crime and seized weapons now that they are no longer doing those kinds of stops over there?
Right, they still can do them, but for the most part, they have not done that anymore. And what it shows is there was a small increase in violent crime after the policy was implemented. However, the number of violent crimes went up more in places where they did not implement the new policy, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but they did. The number of violent crimes went up more there. Now, when it comes to seized firearms, those stayed pretty level in Ramsey County. But again, some of these traffic stops definitely yield, some results. And, when you go back to Hennepin County, there were 175 firearms that they've seized this year. That was, though, in 101,000 traffic stops. So basically, they're getting one firearm every 579 traffic stops. Again, sometimes effective, but the people, like Mary Moriarty will tell you that that's not the best use of resources.
Yeah,
I guess it depends. I mean, how much you care about the one firearm, or if it's been involved in anything,
Or if there's a more effective way to find that one firearm.
Right.
Yeah.
But the data is interesting to hear.
Right.
All right, thank you, Corin. All right, let's take a look at the forecast right now as we talk about this kind of rainy, on and off, rainy, I should say, Cody, Friday.
Yeah, indeed. It's just, it's one of those days where you just have to be prepared for everything. I mean, a little bit of wind, a little bit of warm temperature, some sunshine, then suddenly it's pouring, and then you look out the window 3 minutes later and somehow it's sunny again. So it's just kind of one of those days. We're going to see something similar tomorrow, although less shower activity overall expected over the weekend, especially as we get into Sunday. Look from downtown Minneapolis, looking off to the north, looks like there's a little low-level moisture down there as a little bit of light fog maybe actually forming courtesy of all the moisture around. Our temperature and dew point are pretty close together now, courtesy of our rainfall. Upper 60s right now officially at MSP Airport with dew points in those middle 60s, so it is warm. 74 is what we had for a high temperature today before the rain really got going here in the Twin Cities this afternoon. Plenty low to mid 70s across southern Minnesota. Cool easterly breezes off the lake. Could have been a whole lot colder. Karen Scullin, you could have gone to Duluth and experienced the mid 50s.
Brr.
And been in your parka and looked like you're drowning in the rainfall. I have this image of you with a live shot.
No shame here. No shame.
Okay, that's fair. A few years ago with the hair streaking down in your face and you were just miserable. Could have been you.
No doubt.
But we do have some 60s and 70s out there and certainly plenty of rain. The radar kind of lighting up, and I'm not going to take you on a radar tour of every location. We'd be here forever. So you can certainly open your Fox 9 weather app, check it out on there. But certainly you've seen some waves of rain across the Twin Cities. Metro still getting some pocket downpours across the southwest side as well. And looks like new downpours pushing through the east side. Hastings included in that as well, as that will kind of roll northward right along the St. Croix River. Meanwhile, we zoom out. All has to do with this upper level spinning low, a bunch of different frontal boundaries. This is going to just meander eastward over the next 36 to 48 hours. So a drying trend over the weekend, but doesn't necessarily we're going to be dry, but better chances of staying dry on Sunday, and then it looks really nice next week. We'll talk that 70 forecast coming up here in about 9 minutes.
All right, we will see you in a few minutes then. Thank you, Cody. Still ahead here at 5, the Vikings are gearing up for a Week 3 battle with the Bengals, and as many as 7 players could miss time.
Yeah, yikes. And we won't say the S word affiliated with winter, but the Plows are preparing to precisely power through the powder this weekend. We'll have that story coming up next, but first, here's a look at traffic tonight.